It's that very special time of year, Greendale. A time for me to remind you that your school acknowledges no specialness to this time of year. You do, of course, have a constitutional right to lend this season the significance of your choosing in any of our designated holiday zones.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Don't you mean season's greetings?
Come on, Shirley. You know it's Christmas.
Yes, but as a modern Christian, I've learned to be sensitive to other cultures' jealousies.
So what are we doing this year?
Well, I'm taking a relaxation course next semester, and I was going to use the break to do all the reading in advance.
I'm shutting myself in with my video games. Fake murdering people is going to be my new holiday tradition.
This is disappointing.
What do you care about Christmas, Abed? You're Muslim. Don't your people spend this season writing angry letters to TV Guide?
It's true. Religiously, I'm Muslim. But I've always been a big fan of Christmas. And this is the most important Christmas in the history of the universe. I'm assuming that's why we're all stop-motion animated.
I vote we let it go.
What did you say we were, Abed?
We're stop-motion animated.
I don't understand what he's saying.
I never understand what any of you are saying.
You guys don't see it? I noticed it this morning. That's how I knew it was a special Christmas. We've clearly entered a whole new medium.
Abed, does the word clearly mean the same thing to you as it does to normal people?
It's probably Arabic for not clearly. Huh?
You really expect me to tarnish the high five for that?
You guys really don't see what I'm seeing? That worries me a little.
I think it worries all of us. Is there something that we can do to help you with your situation, Abed?
For starters, you can move around more. Not much point in being animated if you don't. And I think we should commit to the format, starting with a song.
You start. I'm sure we'll join in.
Give me the snow, light up the trees, deck every hall, and wall you can see, roast every nut, mistletoe. This needs to be the best Christmas, it's the original. 20,000 years from now, we'll say the most successful Christmas was today. Okay, we got him. He's down.
Sitcom, all ye faithful, a Christmas podcast special where I discuss 25 Christmas sitcom episodes. Please come and listen every day until Christmas. I'm sure we'll feature Fonzie, the Bradys, and Steve Urkel, Dunder Mifflin, Mayberry, and definitely Alf. We'll definitely talk about Alf.
Give me your hands, show me the door. I cannot stand to wait anymore. Somebody said, be what you be. We could be old and cold and dead on the sea. But I love you more than words can say. I can't count the reasons I should stay. Give me some rope, time and a dream. Give me the hope to run out of steam. Somebody said it could be here. We could be roped up, tied up, dead in a year. I can't count the reasons I should stay. One by one, they all just fade away.
Troy and Abed in Stop Motion. Welcome back, everybody, to day 9 of Sitcom, All Ye Faithful, where today I watched technically my first animated episode of this year when I watched from 2010, Abed's Uncontrollable Christmas, Season 2, Episode 11 of Community. First of all, the fact that this is 11 years old just rips me like rips me apart, like rips my heart out. The fact that Community, a show that I loved, is, and this is the second season, is 11 years old. That's how old, that's how long it's been around. Community is a show that I came into a little late. I think I watched the first season on Hulu. Maybe the first, no, maybe I started the second season on Hulu too. I think I got Hulu specifically to start watching Community. I heard about it, I think, through podcasts. That's how I used to hear about a lot of shows before, like there were constantly articles and YouTube and Twitter, tweeting them constantly about, hey, check out the show, this, that. It was a podcast, I think, that said, hey, this Community show's really good. You should watch it. I finally started watching it. I fell in love with it. And I have this distinct memory of watching this episode. I believe this episode in the kitchen on a television, which tells me that I think I might have watched this episode live. So maybe I was caught up by then. This is the 11th episode of season 2, 2010. It's possible. It is not important at all, but it's possible. This episode is, if you're not familiar with Community, it is the basic storyline is a guy who I think faked being a lawyer. Part of his sentence was he had to go back to community college and get some sort of degree or something. So he goes in without any notion of wanting to do anything, gets hooked up with this study group of different people of various ages, various backgrounds that put together in a study group, and that's your cast. They become the best of friends and just have, and hijinks happen. Hilarity ensues, including Danny Pudi as Abed, Chevy Chase, Donald Glover, that's where he got his start, Allison Brie, Gillian, and not Anderson. I can't think of her last name. Joel McHale got his start there. The star of Stargirl now, if you believe it or not. A star, he's on there. Anyway, and I'm missing Shirley. I know I'm missing, I know she's on, basically I know her now from being on Talking Dead all the time. But that's Jim Rash, John Oliver. There's a name that you think of now as having his own show, his own news talking head show. But my first introduction to John Oliver was on Community as one of the professors who kind of it was like there from day one, and he is featured in this episode. Anyway, the cast, it's not important. If you have any background in the show, you know that it's a high concept, weird show. A lot of just like unbelievable things happen. Like the greatest, some of the greatest episodes ever of Community was there's a big paintball tournament that's going to be happening at school, and the show is done in such a way it's almost like a war show, like you're watching an action movie. Unbelievable, so much fun, and reality doesn't exist in this show. Really, they once did a clip show where they had all these flashbacks of things that never happened. It was like these adventures never happened. And again, this episode happens where the entire thing is done in stop motion animation, not claymation. Abed will make a distinction. They're silicone bodies over wire frames with movable foam mouths or something like that. Anyway, the whole thing we could just say is done in that old fashioned Christmas stop motion claymation, whatever you want to call it, thing, and it's all taking place in Abed's head, basically. Like he wakes up and he's like, "Hey guys, why are we all in stop motion animation?" They're like, "Huh? What?" And you find out that Abed is stuck in his mind that he's in some sort of delusion where everything around him looks like a Christmas stop motion animation. He's dancing on cars. He's getting threatened to be kicked out of school because of that. And he's like, I don't know why this is happening. I'm not sure. And the professor, played by John Oliver, is like, "That's very interesting. That would make a really good that's very publishable." He says, he's really just instead of saying that's very interesting, we should get to the bottom of this, he's worried about getting his journal published, getting this published somewhere that he could be given credit for it. But it comes to find out, let's find the meaning of Christmas, Abed. So let's get them all together and let's go, let's have group therapy. And he's like, I'll lead you along the way. We'll go to the Cave of Christmas Memories. He's like, no, let's go to the North Pole. So the group is sitting in the study room, but they're all helping Abed get through this delusion together by going on an imaginary adventure with him. Along the way, they discover, Abed's like, I'm going to picture you all like Christmas versions of yourself. So they're all different toys. Jeff is a Jeff in the box. Britt is a robot. Annie's a ballerina. Troy is a soldier. What the hell? Chevy Chase. I can't think of his name. Is a teddy bear. And Shirley is a baby doll. She's like, I'm a baby doll. So they all, is his name Graham? No, I can't think of what Chevy Chase's character's name is in Community. Crazy. Anyway, the whole point is they go on this adventure, where he's trying to find the meaning of Christmas. And along the way, he's like, well, if you're just tricking me into doing therapy, I don't want you with me. So along the way, people drop off. Jeff Wing is like, I don't want to be here. I want to go meet women. I want to spend Christmas, hooking up with ladies. So he leaves. He's gone. Then at another point, he says, Britta, if you don't want to help me find the meaning of Christmas, instead you just want to help me, you're trying to trick me into therapy. I don't want you here. Goodbye, Britta. And he leaves her behind. Then I think Shirley leaves. Oh, because all she cared about was the true meaning of Christmas, and that bothered him, so she was gone. Then that left Allison Brie and Donald Glover, Troy and Annie with him. They're on a train now, and because the dean, the professor wanted them to see the true meaning of Christmas. Look in this memory. Instead, he has his own memory. It was like, oh, where's my daddy? I'm going to go to America with my grandmother. It was pretty funny. But in the end, Chevy Chase is like, I'm all out of cookies. I got to go use the bathroom. See you later. So he leaves. And then they're on this imaginary train, and the professor is trying to get them to go one way. Troy and Annie help Abed disconnect his train, and the tin soldier of Troy is choking the professor guy, and the guy's like, "Why are you choking me in real life?" So I'm picturing Donald Glover Troy actually jumping up to help Abed, and he's struggling, and they let the car go. So now Abed's all by himself, and then Chevy Chase comes back and he's like, I used the bathroom, and to tell you the truth, I didn't want to go home. It was lonely. So Abed's like, oh, okay. He had a nice little smile. Let's go. So they get to the North Pole. They get to Santa's workshop, and he's like, there it is, the true meaning of Christmas. He opens it up. Oh, along the way, while they're on the train, he's like, Abed, why is this bothering you? He's like, I love Christmas, and they're talking about Christmas memories. And he's like, Annie, you're Jewish. He's like, well, I'm half Jewish. My dad's Episcopalian, and we always had all these great Christmas traditions. And Abed's like, I love the Christmas traditions too. My parents were divorced, but every year on December 9th, my mom would come and we'd watch Christmas movies together. Every year, my mom would come. Every year, we'd watch Christmas movies on December 9th.
We should be at the North Pole by 9 o'clock Eastern Candy Time. You guys see the countryside? There's the Menorah Mountains and Jehovah's Witness Bay.
Thanks for adding that, man.
This is nicer than all the Christmases I ever celebrated.
But you're Jewish.
On my mom's side. But my dad's Episcopalian, and before the divorce, the holidays were a minefield of overlapping rituals.
I like the rituals. My parents are divorced too. My mom's Polish. She loves Christmas. Every year, she visits on the same day, December 9th. And every year, we sit and watch Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, together. Every year.
But Abed, Today is December 9th. It's the last day of classes.
Yeah, that can't be right. She comes every year. Today must be December 8th. She comes every year.
And Troy says, but today's December 9th. Abed, today's December 9th. And he just kind of freezes up. And that's when the professor comes back and they can disconnect the train. And yes, did you hear what he said? Today's December 9th. No, and Abed goes, no, it has to be December 8th. It's like, no, today's December 9th. And guess what, folks? Today's December 9th. Can you believe it? I timed this perfectly. How amazing. I've never been more proud of myself. Oh my God, I should call my parents. They would finally see the man that I'm trying to be. Anyway, so they're in the Santa's workshop now. Now it's just Chevy Chase, and I can't remember his stupid name. And Abed, and they're like, he's like, where's the meaning of Christmas? He's like, it could be anywhere. So Chevy Chase is like, anywhere? Like there? And he points, and there's a gift, meaning of Christmas. Opens it up, opens another box, then he takes it out, and he goes, and he looks at it. It's a DVD of the first season of Lost. He goes, the first season of Lost was the meaning of Christmas? And Abed's like, oh, I think Chevy Chase said it. Abed goes, no, it's a metaphor. It talks about, it's about let down expectations. And then the professor comes in and goes, that's true. And here's what really is. I found this Christmas card from your mother. And it said, Dear Abed, I'm sorry I can't come this year. I have a new family now. You're a grown man. I love you. Merry Christmas. Don't forget to wash your dupa. That made me laugh because he's half Polish, right? And the Polish side must be the mother's side. And I've heard the term dupa used in my in-laws' family. It just, that got me, the first time I heard it, it gets me every time. I love the word. It's very, I assume it's like, I don't know if it's Polish for your privates. I don't know if it's a slang. I don't know what it is, but wash your dupa gets me every time because it has a meaning to it to me, which is very funny. So at this point, he's like, don't you see, this is why you are frozen like this. It's because you're shutting down because your mother's not there for you on Christmas. And then Abed, his like claymation gets put into this ice and he just freezes up. And they're like, look what you did. And then all of a sudden everyone comes back and he's like, what? I thought you left. He goes, no, we're here to teach Abed the true meaning of Christmas. And let's sing it while shooting you. So they start shooting him with all these toy guns. And they're singing this Christmas song about how it's important to be together on Christmas. While this is happening, you start to see the ice on Abed melt. And then his eyes start blinking. He goes, that's the true meaning of Christmas. The true meaning of Christmas is that Christmas has meaning. And you can do with it whatever you want with it. I used to spend Christmas with my mother. Now I spend Christmas with you guys. And that's how they gave a big hug. Next thing you know, they're back in the study room, but they're still claymation. He's like, that's it. I found the true meaning of Christmas. Well, I don't need to be claymation anymore. Or we don't need to be stop motion. And Britta's like, well, let's keep it for the rest of Christmas. Why not? Be in theme of things. And so they go all together. They steal a Christmas tree while they see the professor and the dean drinking and hanging out. They all go into their study room, put on a movie, and they go to put on a Christmas movie. And in the reflection of the claymation TV, you see the real actors all sitting there. That's the only moment that you see any real people in this episode. And then it ends with the funny little Troy and Abed in stop motion moment of them hanging out. And Troy's like, no, this time the stop motion is in my head. And Abed's like, well, it's weird that I see it, isn't it? He's like, yeah, it is pretty weird. And that's the episode. That's Community's Abed's Uncontrollable Christmas. Another fun one in the books. Very, it had its little inner jokes about the show already that you have. It just had some fun, poking fun at the old classic Christmas tales, but also just clever little songs. Like at one point, Abed's doing a Christmas tree, but it's actually Chang. So he in real life, he's just touching Chang, and he's like, sad Christmas song. Sad, short Christmas song. Like he wasn't singing anything except that. And that was only Chang's only moment in the episode as the snowman. And there's these buttons, and one button's really low. He's like, come back here and finish with the third button, which is obviously he's telling him to come back and fondle him, I would assume. Classic Community, classic. There's a show that I definitely want to go back and watch every single episode again. Yes, I even watched the Yahoo season. Remember that? Okay, the story of the show is it was on NBC for a couple of years, and then they got rid of Dan Harmon, who's the creator of the show, and there was one weird season. Then it came back, and Dan Harmon's back, and they were like, "Oh, I think they called it the gas leak year." Everything was weird. There was like a weird gas leak because the show was just different. It was just different. Then Chevy Chase left the show. I think they brought in Jonathan, the guy who plays Mike on Better Call Saul. He was there for a year. Then they brought in, is it Keith David or David Keith? Keith David. You know the guy. He was in Something About Mary as Cameron Diaz's stepdad. Are you yelling at me? Are you yelling at me at my house? Then he was there. Was he there in the Yahoo season? I've lost. Because then it got canceled. Then Yahoo Screen picked it up and says it's coming back with a whole new season. I have to tell you, I enjoyed some of those episodes. I have to go back and watch them again, but they were fun because Dan Harmon was back with the show, was the creators, everything was there. There was some fun to it. I think it was just one season, and it was just done. But I don't know if those are all on Netflix now. They might be. Yahoo Screen, they spent all this money on TV shows, and it kind of really screwed up Yahoo. They spent too much money on Community, and it completely killed Yahoo Screen. At one point, Yahoo Screen had NFL games, too, going. They were like the first ones to stream a live NFL game. I think. Anyway, I've lost. I've gone off topic. But if you've never watched Community, and I spoiled this episode for you, don't worry about it. Go back, watch the whole thing. It is a very clever, very funny show. A lot of smart, thematic, silly episodes. And it's funny. I watch Rick and Morty now, which is Dan Harmon, and you kind of get the same thing where crazy things happen around these people. There's some interesting themes and a lot of cleverness. And you could see that happening originally in this show, in Community. And Rick and Morty, oh my God, what a show. Anyway, that's it, my friends. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Geek Mentality. The website is fans.experts.com. The Facebook page is fans.experts. You know, you could like it. I don't do a lot there, but throw me a like and I will like you. I don't know how that works, but, you know, I would like you. I will thank you. How's that? So that's it, my friends. 9 days in the books. Christmas is getting closer. I hope you're excited as I am. I'm so excited that I'm ready to sing my theme song.
This is my podcast, I made it. Geek Mentality's what I named it. And I think you should listen and subscribe. 'Cause I'm kinda funny and awesome. I think that I'm worth your time. And I'm kinda handsome. My mom says, please listen and please subscribe. At least listen to this episode. Fans Not Experts.